In June 2026, an island of 156,000 people walked onto the same World Cup stage as Germany and scored. Curaçao, a dot in the Caribbean you could drive across in 20 minutes, became the tiniest nation in World Cup history, and in its very first game, it put the ball in Germany's net. Meanwhile, India, with 1.5 billion people, stayed home. As always, football is supposed to be a numbers game. So why do the numbers keep making fools of everyone? Here's the thing everyone assumes. More people means more players. More players means more talent. More talent means more trophies. It sounds obvious. It sounds like math. And it is completely, spectacularly wrong. Because the countries actually pulling this off aren't winning on size. They are winning on three things the giants can't seem to buy. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. Number one, density. It's not how many people you have, it's how many actually play, and how good the ones around them are. And nobody proves this better than Cape Verde. 10 tiny islands off West Africa, 500,000 people, drawn at the 2026 World Cup against Spain, the reigning European champions. The result? A 0-0 draw. Their goalkeeper, a 40-year-old man named Vozinha, made 7 saves and was named man of the match on his World Cup debut, becoming an overnight legend across the football world. And Cape Verde weren't done. They drew all 3 group games and reached the knockout stages, dumping out Uruguay, a 2-time world champion, on the way. 500,000 people. How? Because in a football mad island network that small, everyone knows everyone, and talent gets spotted, sharpened, and pushed against other talent. It doesn't grow in isolation. It grows under pressure. Number 2, the diaspora. The sneakiest trick in modern football, and the masters of it are Curaçao. Here's the wild part. Almost every single player in their squad was actually born in the Netherlands. The tiny federation basically ran a recruitment drive, convincing Dutch-raised professionals with Curaçaoan grandparents to come play for the island of their roots. They didn't wait for a superstar to be born on their soil. They phoned their scattered children across Europe and said, "Come home, we have got a World Cup to reach." And it worked. That's how 156,000 people ended up scoring against a nation of 83 million. Number 3, systems beat size. The one giants absolutely hate hearing. Build the right structure and coaching, and you can manufacture a team far more reliably than a giant just praying talent shows up. Look at Iceland, a frozen rock in the Atlantic with 330,000 people, who in the 2010s built dozens of indoor football halls so kids could train through brutal winters, and trained an army of qualified coaches, more per person than almost anywhere on Earth. They built a machine that produces good players on purpose, and that machine knocked England out of the Euros in 2016 and then held Messi's Argentina to a draw, saving his penalty for good measure. Curaçao did the same thing a different way, hiring Dick Advocaat, a 78-year-old Dutch managerial legend who became the oldest coach in World Cup history. That's not luck, that's a plan with a pension. So that's the formula. Density, so your talent sharpens against real talent. Diaspora, so your borders don't limit your squad. Systems, so you build a team on purpose instead of hoping one appears. And here's the kicker. Not one of those 3 things cares even slightly how many people you have. If anything, being small helps, because a tiny nation is easy to unite and aim like a spear, which brings us to the giants, tripping over their own feet. India, 1.5 billion people, has never qualified for a World Cup. Not once. China, another 1.5 billion, has managed it exactly once. In 2002, where it lost every game and scored a grand total of 0 goals. Between them, these 2 nations hold over a third of the humans alive. And between them, they have won precisely nothing. They have the people, but the talent's scattered. The systems never gelled. And in India, football drowns under cricket. Raw numbers were never the missing piece. They never were. Because the winners were never the biggest. They are the most concentrated, the most connected, and the most deliberately built. And there's something beautiful in that. Football can't just be bought or outpopulated. A speck in the Caribbean, with a clever plan and enough hunger, can walk onto the same pitch as Germany and score. 500,000 islanders and a 40-year-old keeper can hold the European champions to a draw. So the next time someone tells you a country is too small to compete, remember June 2026. Remember Vozinha's 7 saves. Remember 156,000 people scoring against Germany. And remember 3 billion people in China and India who have never won a single thing that mattered. Football was never a numbers game. It was always about what you do with the numbers you've got.